Although the Middle East can be quite hot, today is one of those rare exceptions where it actually rained. Usually it's about 96 degrees with low humidity and 100% visibility. There seems like a chance for a sandstorm due to the large deserts. This also seems like the worst season to farm since the rivers are quite unpredictable and flooding may occur. Here's a quick fact. The Nile actually flows north instead of south. Who knew? Also, try and visit your local oases, since there's barely any water nearby, and there's none around here. Anyway, I've been Alan Soto, and this is the weather.
Although the Middle East borders many seas supporting great trade and cultural diversity, the three major waterways that border the Middle East are the Mediterranean Sea, the Persian Gulf, and the Red Sea. These came to be nicknamed the crossroads of the world. This became a center for great trade between Europe, India, Africa, and China. Also, one of the world's greatest trade routes, the Silk Roads, ran through this region. This leads to cultural diffusion, which brings new goods, ideas, and advancements.
The Nile River, located in northeast Africa, flows into the Mediterranean Sea. It passes through the Sahara Desert, which was a good resting area for traders making the long journey through the desert. This magnificent river is also the longest river in the world. The river valley of the Nile River became a great place to develop settlements. Early settlers, including the Egyptians, used the fertile soil to plant crops like wheat. The Nile floods were predictable, therefore, it was easier to know when the best time to plant crops was. Since the river flowed north and the wind flew south, the river was great for transportation, acting as a natural highway. The river is obviously a crucial part to the society and the well-being of the Middle East.
Here's the Tigris and Euphrates River. They are both located in Western Asia and Mesopotamia. They flow southeast into the Persian Gulf. Due to their unpredictable floods, it is also difficult to know when to plant crops and not to. Although the floods also brought about a benefit, as the soil was very fertile and full of nutrients from large amounts of silt and soil deposits. This region became a great place to develop permanent settlements. The fertile soil was used to plant crops by early settlers like the Sumerians, and the rivers were used for trade, transportation, as a source of food, and for irrigation.
Hey Ibn, or should I say the Traveler of Islam?
Hello, strange man. How do you know my name?
Don't you know you're like the Marco Polo of Islam?
Who's Marco Polo?
I'm not going to get into that right now, but anyway, why did you leave your home?
Well, I left Tangier, Morocco when I was about 21 years old in order to travel my Hajj to Mecca.
Do you know how long you traveled for exactly?
Not exactly. What about you? Do you know?
Yes, you traveled for 25 years and 75,000 miles. You covered the equivalent of 44 modern countries.
Wow, I've only visited a few countries so far.
What countries have you visited?
So far, I visited Persia, China, India, and Indonesia.
How did you travel to those places?
Well, I either traveled by foot or by camel caravan.
What's a camel caravan?
A camel caravan is a group of camels that travel together, and they carry the supplies I needed to trade.
Why camels?
Well, travelers like me use camels since their hooves don't get burned when they touch hot sand. Camels are also able to live 10 days without water and can travel up to 60 miles in one day. We also use them in tough situations for food.
How were your journeys?
Well, my journeys were sometimes tough. I was attacked by bandits many times. I almost died in the sinking ship, and I was once almost beheaded.
Thank you for your time, but I have to go. See you in the history books.
Bye.
We Phoenicians live on city-states, which are independent cities with a decentralized government on the Mediterranean Sea. This is perfect for us because we are great shipbuilders, sailors, and traders. With these great techniques, we were able to spread our ideas and cultures throughout the world. For this, we are called the carriers of civilizations and culture. Us Phoenicians also created the first alphabet. This was later developed into English and Greek, as you saw. This would help in trade, government, and stability of society. Our location is also great because it enabled us to receive ideas from travelers traveling through the Middle East and the Fertile Crescent also. This region of great agricultural success is what helped shape our society into what it is today, with providing us with food, materials, and a wealthy trade. The Mediterranean Sea and other important sea routes were very important to the trade in the Middle East.
Here is one of the spots where us middlemen come and trade. We sell things for more than we bought them for to help make greater profit. We also try to find new things to buy which we could sell later. This trade, especially over the Indian Ocean, was dominated by Muslim traders. This is mainly due to the fact that they had the amount of money needed to build ships. At this time, the winds and monsoons were predictable, so shipwrecks were not a thing that was a big concern. Trade was mostly peaceful, besides for a few pirates here and there.
This wood behind me, for example, is a top paid product in trade as it could be used to build houses. Although, when it becomes cheaper due to trade, suddenly more people are able to have better houses. It was not only goods being traded, but also technology such as compasses and astrolabe. Islam was a huge spread. Like this traditional Islamic headband I'm wearing, many people sailing towards the Middle East are begging to have it as it will sell for a high price at their countries. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have business to attend to.
Hi Muhammad, it's nice to finally be able to meet you.
Thank you. Have you come to ask about my teachings?
Well, I'm sort of.
Well, ask as you will.
First of all, who really are you?
My name is Muhammad, and I was born in Mecca in 570. My family were all important traders in Mecca, and sadly, my mother and father died when I was very young. Therefore, I was raised by my uncle and grandfather. I never got the chance to go to a real school, so I worked at my uncle's stables.
You also have a wife, don't you?
Yes, I married a widow who was 15 years older than me when I was 25, although I took great care of her and took care of her well-being.
That's very kind of you. Now I've heard of the day Angel Gabriel came to you. Would you like to explain that experience to me?
Yes, of course. I was up on a mountain meditating that day when I fell asleep. Angel Gabriel came to visit me on the mountains and kept telling me that I was God's messenger and to follow in the footsteps of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. He said there is one God only, and his name is Allah.
So what happened after those visits with Gabriel?
I went back to Mecca and preached to the people. It took 3 years for just a handful of people to come and follow and join me. Then I changed my approach. I directly attacked idols.
So why?
It was the only way to get people to follow me and to get their attention. They became very angry though and plotted to kill me.
So what did you do about it?
I fled to Medina. This was called the Night of Flight, also known as Hijra. There my strength grew quickly and my crowd turned into an army. I went back to Mecca and destroyed all their idols.
But isn't that wrong to destroy something that isn't yours? How did they feel?
The people of Mecca were very grateful that I only destroyed their idols, and they began to take on and accept the religion of Islam.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's why they call you the founder of Islam?
Indeed.
Well, thank you for your time. This is great info for the broadcast.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you. The geography of the Middle East is one of the most important things about it. 85% is desert, limiting travel and natural resources. Therefore, many technological advancements were made to help support travel. This is when the camel caravans came into play. Ibn Battuta used this for part of his extraordinary journey.
Here during this time, there is a society of people called the Jihad, who believe in warfare against unbelievers of the Islamic world. Some go as far as to believe Muslims fight for the cause of Allah, while disbelievers fight in the cause of Satan. The Jihad are very strong believers, as some come to call them extremists. They believe everything they have is from Allah and everything they do is for Allah. This even goes as far for killing non-believers. They embrace their beliefs and stop at nothing to get their point across to people and non-believers. Any other belief or religion is evil and goes against the ways of Allah. Therefore, they prepare themselves for the Jihad of Islam.
Islam is a very easy and basic religion to follow. There is one God, 5 basic beliefs, could practice anywhere, and everyone is equal and can go to heaven. The religion of Islam was also very tolerant of other religions and their ideas. Jews and Christians were tolerated and called the people of the book. They were able to practice their own beliefs as long as they paid a tax. Everyone was allowed to believe what they wanted to and simply went on with their daily lives.
There were many great achievements that formed in the Middle East. One of these achievements was the math and science, which came during the Golden Age of Islam. Islamic scholars studied both Greek and Indian mathematics. The most well-known Islamic mathematician was Al-Khwarizmi, who pioneered the study of algebra. His textbooks became a standard in European universities for centuries. Islamic scholars were also skilled in the field of astronomy. They studied eclipses, the rotation of the planets, and calculated the circumference of Earth to within a few miles.
There were also many advancements in the field of medicine. Physicians developed treatments for cataracts using a variety of herbal remedies and were adept at treating a variety of injuries. They also set up hospitals that had separate waiting areas for trauma cases, and this was the basis for today's emergency rooms. Islamic pharmacists were able to make sweet-tasting syrups with medicine, ensuring that it would be taken. A famous Islamic physician named Ibn Sina wrote a book called The Canon of Medicine. This was an encyclopedia of Greek, Arabic, and his own knowledge of medicine. Without the advancements in the Middle East, our society today in 2018 would probably be behind in where it is right now.
Water is a very limited resource in the Middle East. The major of the geographic features are deserts, so water is very scarce and valuable. Most people settle in river valleys so they can have access to water and fertile soil to plant crops. This has led to overcrowding and has created economic difficulties. Anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the supply of oil in the Middle East. There is a great supply of oil which other parts of the world may not have. So those in the Middle East use the supply of oil as a leeway to get the resources and advanced technology they need. The world today relies on the oil of the Middle East. This is primarily why the U.S. got into the Persian Gulf War.
The reign of the Ottoman Empire lasted from the 1300s to the 1920s. It began by Muslim Turks, but later contained Arabs, Greeks, Christians, and Jews, making it a very diverse empire. It was located on the lands surrounding the eastern Mediterranean Sea, giving the Ottomans great access to trade, transportation, and cultural diffusion. Their decline leads to the Ottoman Empire being called the sick man of Europe. This was given the name due to their economic difficulties and loss of control. There was a lack of unity with the Muslim people with their different ethnicities, including Arabs, Greeks, Persians, and their different sects, the Sunnis and the Shiites. The Crusades took many lives, along with a lot of money. Not only that, but Mongol invasions were very costly and even gained control of parts of the empire. At this time, Europe grew and expanded its power, overpowering the Ottomans. There was also an all-water trade route found, which meant the other empires cut out the Muslim middlemen. The Ottomans began to gain great power and control, unable to keep society and economy stable. On top of that, the Ottoman Empire had bad corrupt leaders, negatively affecting the empire and the well-being of the empire. This was not only a decline in the Ottoman Empire, but also the Turks and the Islamic Empire.